and at ray.realtor. For sponsorship and advertisement, call us on +234 802 735 1727. Powered by Media House Promotions and O. Communications. Real Estate Matters, only on Super FM 92.7, where real estate matters.
All right, welcome back. We're still on Real Estate Matters on Super FM 92.7. This is a show where we bring to you conversations around real estate all over the world and also, very importantly, Nigeria. I'm still your real estate doctor, and I've got my co-host, King Gray. Before we went on the show, we announced that today we're looking at a very important conversation, and that's combating quackery in the real estate sector in Nigeria. This is a very important conversation, knowing that there's a lot going on around our real estate sector in Nigeria. We've had issues of unscrupulous estate agents. We've had issues of fraudulent estate agents. We've also had issues of unscrupulous landowners, people who pretend to be landowners and sell to innocent people and, swindle them of their hard-earned money.
And even beyond that, we've had cases of murder
with
fraudulent individuals who present themselves as real estate agents.
We've even had cases of people, drivers, security gate men that will act as owners and collect money and run away. So it's just so much going on, particularly Lagos, knowing that there's an housing deficit, also knowing that we have a 20 million housing deficit. So people are taking advantage of that to swindle people. So let's bring our guests into this conversation. Our guest today is no other person but estate surveyor and valuer Ayodeji Odeleye, FNIVS. FNIVS means Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, and also the CEO of Odeleye and Company. Yes, that's a very prominent real estate firm. I make bold to say that firm is how old, please?
Will be 40 years next
40
year.
40 years. That's exactly. that firm was established the year I was born. so who am I? Just like somebody said recently, who am I to question what so person is saying?
Talk about pedigree.
Yes,
history.
40 years. That's like 4 decades. That's a lot of milestone. So. Estate surveyor Ayodeji Odeleye is also the vice president, International Real Estate Federation, FIAPSI. He's a man of many feathers. He's also the vice chairman, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, Lagos State Branch, and many other titles. So today, this conversation is very, very important for me because a lot of our listeners want to be part of this conversation. Also, don't forget that you can join us by calling the studio line on 070-569-00927. I'll take that number one more time, 070-569-00927. That's the number to call to contribute on the show. Tell us your experience with estate agents in Lagos State. No, in fact, in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Because it's not
that
only
case
Lagos
that I said
quacks.
where there was a case of murder, that happened in Bayelsa State, I believe.
Wow.
Yes.
A man presenting himself as a real estate agent.
I saw that, and I think that case, they killed the agent involved.
Yes, that's what the real agent that was involved, unfortunately, I think based on his relationship with the fraudulent agent, vouched that this other person is an agent. And then when he started asking questions, asking for due diligence, which every agent, no matter how close you are, at some point you now start to ask, even if it's your brother, okay, where are the documents, where are the papers? And then this other fraudulent agent now lured the real estate agent, who was like, I think the president or the vice president of real estate agents in Bayelsa State, lured him to the property, the supposed property, and shot him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw that news, and it was a very gory news.
It was a very, very tragic and unfortunate situation.
Aside, I think very importantly, one of the before our speaker comes on the mic, some of the things that causes that has led us to quackery in this part of the world. We have weak regulatory enforcement. We have low public awareness. We have high unemployment. Everybody now is a realtor. Everybody now is an agent. So, but I'd like to bring our guests into this conversation. So please, estate surveyor and valuer Odeleye, please tell us how do you think we got to this stage that we have, where the real estate practice has now become an all-comers affair, where Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is now an agent, and they are, causing a lot of havoc in society.
Thank you once again for inviting me.
Yes,
and when Ray was giving the introduction earlier, she mentioned that quacks are those that are unqualified, unregistered, and they just do this on fraudulent activities in the industry.
Yes.
Thereby painting even the professionals, the key people, in a very, very terrible light. But the first thing that I believe is making this quackery thrive in Nigeria is the issue of low or no barrier of entry into that space. We've mentioned here that even a gateman, a driver, can just pick up, he can just go and print a business card one day and say, I'm an estate agent.
What's true.
Do you understand? Yes. So there is nothing really enforcing or preventing anyone, from calling themselves an estate agent. And thank God, myself and Ray and some people in Nigeria, we are part of this National Association of Realtors, in the US. For you to be an NAR member, you need to have undergone some trainings, some licensing and certifications. So, that gives you a level of confidence that, okay, yes, before I go into this practice, I need to understand one thing or the other. The other issue I also observe is that we've seen the glut. We've seen that, the demand is huge. And it's not meeting up with the supply. And that has really, we call ourselves land economists. It has really affected the pricing. Yes, this morning I was speaking with someone in a particular location in Lagos. I thought 3-bedroom flats would be so amount. The person said, no, you can't get it unless you are paying X amount. I said, wow. And so a lot of people are desperate to say, the moment they start hearing, for using that illustration again, for a 3-bedroom, I can get it for a lower amount, they will run for it. They'll be desperate for it, and by so doing, not ask or do necessary due diligence, and they will just fall into wrong hands. The fourth point I would say is that because this is very, very holistic, it spans from the point where you are acquiring, where land administration is involved, you verifying the title document and other things. We have a complex land administration system in Nigeria. It is so complex and expensive for you to do. And that's one way or the other. So people want to, just cut corners and say, instead of me paying the official rate and I'll wait for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, let me just pay this, and you fall into the wrong hands. And the last point I would say is weak enforcement.
Weak enforcement.
We have laws.
I think that's the bane of the conversation.
Yes.
No consequences.
Weak enforcement. Thank you. And no consequences. So a lot of people get away with so many things. So far they have politicians or people in high places. Do you understand? And even when they are caught or they are penalized, maybe they are told to pay something, a peanut in return after fraudulently taking millions of naira from individuals.
There was a recent case of a certain man. The man is a driver to a certain person. He pretended to be the owner of the house, collected rent from a certain woman that was staying outside Lagos at that time. The woman got transferred from her job to Lagos. So the owner of the house lives abroad. This driver in disguise collected rent as if he was a landlord.
The owner of the property.
As he collected rent about almost 5 minutes, somewhere in Ikeja. This driver bolted. Let me use that word, bolted. And when this woman moved to Lagos with her loads and everything, I was about to move in. That's when people told her, whoever you paid to her. He was the driver. He's not the owner of the house. Till today, that driver is nowhere to be found. We also have cases of even registered complaints that will say that their property, real estate firms that will swindle people just with the sake of just buying one land somewhere, just doing fence and putting one name, and we've seen that in recent times.
We've seen that happen.
Where people will come out online to call them out for not allocating to them. So it's not just about real estate agents. Even registered companies too fraud people. And this is very, very sad because it is kind of discouraging. It's going to be discouraging, foreign investors from even bringing their money to this country because they don't even know who to trust. That's why we I want you to talk about the implementation of the LASFERA, that's the Real Estate Regulatory Authority in Lagos State. That Lagos State government thought that enough is enough. I want you to shed comment about that. What do you think?
Thank you. To be honest, any opportunity I've had,
Yes,
talking
please.
about Lasera, I've always given kudos to Lagos State government
Yes,
for coming up
absolutely.
with that idea.
Yes.
But please let me start with this to say we have a regulatory body
Body. Yes.
that was, empowered, established
Yes.
by an act.
An act, yes. That's Esvabon, right?
Yes, that's Esvabon
Yes.
in the Federation. That's Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board
Yes.
of Nigeria. That body has the power to regulate the real estate practice.
Okay.
But, because of some of their shortcomings, they don't have enough resources to be able to enforce. They don't have the manpower
Yes.
and so on and so forth. So they have not been so efficient, but kudos to them for what they've done so far. And now, going back to what Lagos State government has done, establishing Lasrera, it's a right step in the right direction.
Yes.
Because it would help limit one way or the other the practices of these quacks.
Yes.
Although I've always said that they need to continue to collaborate and engage professional bodies like
Professional
Nigerian
bodies.
Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers and Association of Estate Agents in Nigeria, AN, and
Absolutely.
other bodies. But now going back to Lasera, the moment I'll give you my own story.
Yes.
When Lasera was still Lasetrat,
Yes.
a client just called me and said, "Oh, I saw your name. I saw the name of your company online." I said, "How?" He said, "Lagos State website." Where? I'm not. I didn't pay anything to Lagos State government.
to register,
Yeah.
yeah.
But meanwhile, I've registered with Lasetrat as at that point
At
in
that
time.
time.
Yeah. And I went to look at it, and I said, "Oh, really? This is a good thing." Someone that person was not in Nigeria.
Yes.
But they went
Based
to
in-
that platform.
They went to that website
Yes.
and they saw it.
Yes.
And that gives credence to what we are doing as professionals.
Yes.
And so for the public, it is a good thing for you to be able to verify any agent that you want to do business with
Yes. Yes.
before you embark on that transaction.
Because we have a
Yes.
big issue with trust in Nigeria.
See,
Yes.
And it's these kind of platforms, these kind of your portals are good tools that we can use even as professionals among ourselves
Yeah.
to know
Yes.
the history of an individual
Yeah.
and to know the capacity of that person.
yeah.
Yes.
So let
No,
continue on
yes.
that. Yeah. We know in developing countries or in
Yeah.
developed countries rather, there are things that you need to do before you can become a broker
Yes, of course.
or an agent.
Yes.
Yes, and it's state dependent.
Yes.
So, for instance, in the US, if you are in Texas, if
Yes.
you have taken the license for brokerage or agency
Yes.
in Texas, you can't go and practice in Philadelphia. You can't go and practice in other states.
Yes.
And this is what Lasera is
Sorry
bringing.
to button.
also.
Sorry to
Yes.
button. ESV. Let's take this call. Yes, morning, please. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost that call.
Okay, I think we lost that.
Okay.
All right. So correct.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So, and
Okay, sorry.
okay.
Yes, morning, please. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, real estate doctor Antonia from Ojo.
Antonia,
Hello,
Antonia, you need no
Antonia.
introduction on this show anymore. I was going to call your name before you even
I've enjoyed the
mentioned your name.
conversation.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
but I want to ask a question.
Yes, please.
If an occupant wants to leave a particular place
Yes,
just peacefully without any quarrel, how would the person leave the place?
okay. If you are
vacate
renting
the
a place
property.
and you want to sublease to somebody else,
Yes.
No, I think you want to lease or you want to leave.
I want to leave. I want to leave.
So sublease.
No, as in to leave finally to.
Okay, to pack out.
To leave out. Okay, to vacate the place. Okay, okay.
How do I tell? Or is it possible I tell the owner or I just leave them?
Let me tell you. So if you go back to the genesis of that agreement with your landlord, if you want to leave an
Yes.
apartment, it is the law mandates you to give your landlord 6 months 6 month notice ahead.
Notice.
So if your landlord wants you to leave, it will give you 6 month notice to leave.
Yes.
If you also want to leave, you notify your landlord 6 months in advance that, oh God, by the end of this tenancy or in 6 months' time, I don't want to renew my lease.
I
want to leave.
Also, 3 months also.
6 months notice in advance.
Sure. So say this because I'm an estate surveyor in Balua.
Yes.
It should be there should be like the handshake between Esvabon and the state government.
Yes.
To be honest, the way thinking off my head now, it should be Esvabon that should be championing this.
I agree with you.
At the state level.
Esvabon, don't they have their states champions within each state that help?
I said they don't have resources.
Very, very interesting conversation. Let's take more calls. Yes, Money, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, I think we lost that call. So the number to call once again is 07056900927. You can also call us on 08025027711. That's the number to call. Let's know your experience with estate agents, fraudulent real estate companies who think that they can swindle you off your ad-hand money. And, hopefully we're able to address those issues on this show, and the appropriate authorities can listen and, look for solutions. Let's take this call. Yes, Money, please. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Yes, please. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is calling from